Deirdre Nansen McCloskey, Bourgeois Equality, How Ideas, Not Capital or Institutions, Enriched the World. Take a glimpse into the unique story of the world's unprecedented enrichment and the ideas that transformed society through bourgeois equality. In this book, Deirdre Nansen McCloskey dives into the heart of the Great Enrichment that occurred in the 1800s and how the middle class, or bourgeoisie, played a pivotal role in society's economic prosperity. Explore how changes in people's perception of the bourgeoisie led to creative destruction and innovation, and learn about the power of ideas and rhetoric in shaping the world we live in today. Discover the insightful thoughts of great personalities like Adam Smith, Samuel Johnson, and Jane Austen, as they capture the essence of the bourgeois deal and the cornerstone of our modern world.
The Great Enrichment sparks human progress. The unprecedented boom in innovation, dubbed the Great Enrichment, that occurred 2 centuries ago sparked a proliferation of bettering ideas that have led to our current prosperous world. This massive progress was made possible by society's willingness to give the middle class greater freedom to engage in innovation, also known as creative destruction. The middle class began to specialize in trading and betterment, and changes in how society viewed and spoke about it enabled greater freedom. The benefits of the Great Enrichment, from environmentalism to global literacy, have led to overall betterment and a higher standard of living. Malthusianism of History. The book discusses the principle of population by Thomas Robert Malthus and how it explains why most people throughout history barely survive due to slow enrichment, which cannot compete with rapid population growth. The author mentions the bubonic plague and how the sharp increase in wages for farm laborers during the plague eventually fell to half of what they previously peaked at due to increased population growth again. The Great Enrichment Decoded. The Great Enrichment was not a result of trade or imperialism, but instead was caused by investment in innovation and increased freedom for the bourgeoisie. Contrary to popular belief, institutions did not bring about the enrichment, and regulations meant to protect against monopolies and corruption may actually do more harm than good. Instead, free trade and innovation protected against these ills and brought about widespread enrichment. The ethical understanding of the bourgeois deal. The assumption of a zero-sum game, where one person's gain results in another's loss, helps those who oppose the bourgeois deal to frame it as inherently dishonest. However, 18th-century economist-philosopher Adam Smith offered a different ethical understanding of the bourgeois deal. Smith saw middle-class free trade activity as not just based on prudence, but also on temperance and justice. He believed governments were only likely to act partially on people's behalf. Therefore, the ideal bourgeois ethic exemplifies temperance, justice, and prudence. The shifting views of the bourgeoisie in 18th-century literature. The 18th century saw a change in the views of the bourgeoisie, evident in the literary works of Samuel Johnson and Jane Austen. While Johnson viewed writing as a trade, Austen's novels depicted the bourgeois values of her characters. Adam Smith's theory of balancing prudence and social interaction played a crucial role in the development of modern bourgeois society. Benjamin Franklin's actions exemplified Smith's ideas on commerce's social aspect. The changing meaning of the word honest in literature reflects the evolving views of the bourgeoisie towards prudence. This shift in ideas, driven by favorable rhetoric leading to betterments, was the foundation of the middle class's changing view in the early 19th century. The rhetoric of the bourgeois revaluation. The bourgeois revaluation, which led to the enrichment, did not occur simply because of cultural character. Rather, it was an unexpected reaction to a confluence of events, including changes in religious, social, technological, and political factors. The crumbling of the belief in the great chain of being, and evolving ideas about the nature of happiness on earth contributed significantly to changing views about the bourgeois. Increased printing in Europe and, later, America helped spread liberal ideas through texts. The right circumstances paved the way for new rhetoric that inspired profound social change. The bourgeois deal and widespread gains. Before the Great Enrichment, trade activities associated with the bourgeois deal were overlooked by artists and intellectuals alike. It was assumed that betterments failed to benefit ordinary people. But by the mid-1800s, two alternate deals, the Bolshevik and Bismarckian, took credit for gains that only the bourgeois deal had wrought. Unlike the bourgeois deal that reflected entrepreneurship and pluralism, these new deals were based on central planning socialism and state-owned property that protected the existing systems and took power from the people. The modern world emerged after a climate of persuasion in the 1700s enabled the bourgeois deal to bring about widespread gains. The Great Enrichment, a rhetoric-driven socioeconomic embrace. The Great Enrichment of socioeconomics, marked by free trade and market competition and brought about by rejection of class-based protection for the rich and exploitation of the poor, has led to a remarkable improvement in people's lives and consumption of goods and services. However, proponents of trickle-down economy as well as those advocating for trickle-up ideas reject this bourgeois deal, raising concerns about the future of this socioeconomic shift. Despite this, innovation and competition remain crucial in driving the economy forward, more so in a democratic setup as people are free to make decisions based on their spending choices. While some argue that technology will lead to mass unemployment, the author debunks this thought, observing that innovation and new discoveries create new ways to redefine resources and help ensure a healthier and more sustainable planet. The bourgeois deal remains essential in making positive socio-economic changes, rather than an expanded government control approach, whose potential remains suspect. Pursuing equity. The book emphasizes that focusing solely on income inequality and wealth redistribution overlooks the poor's actual needs. The focus should be on fair opportunities that allow them to have enough to participate in democracy and live a fuller life. The author argues that equitable societies enable the poor to fulfill their potential and rise above poverty. The bourgeois deal can help achieve this goal by providing freedom, dignity, and material sufficiency for all. Protectionist practices hinder growth, making societies that pursue equity more promising for the poor. Despite 1 billion people still living in extreme poverty, the future looks hopeful.
In conclusion, Bourgeois Equality presents a compelling case for the role of ideas and rhetoric in the emergence of the Great Enrichment, where the expansion of middle-class influence led to unprecedented prosperity and innovation. Deirdre Nansen McCloskey skillfully debunks myths surrounding the influence of trade, imperialism, and institutions, arguing that it was a shift in societal perceptions towards the bourgeoisie that brought about this transformation. By analyzing the philosophies of key figures and examining historical developments, Bourgeois Equality leaves the reader with a deeper understanding of the crucial ingredients for a prosperous society, and the undeniable power of ideas in shaping the world around us.